Somewhere in your grandmother's attic, there is a sewing machine that still works. It's been dropped, sat in a hot garage for 2 decades, and never once had its motor replaced. And I would bet you actual money that machine is older than most of the Suis watching this video right now. Meanwhile, half the sewing machines sold today are engineered to give you about 5 good years before something inside them cracks, strips, or shorts out, right on schedule, right after the warranty runs out. So here's the question I get in my inbox more than almost any other. Which brands still make machines like they used to? Not the $8,000 embroidery monsters. Not the toy store ones from the big box store that jam on cotton. I mean real, workhorse machines, at a price a beginner or a working sewist can actually justify, that will still be sewing straight seams when your kids are grown. I've spent 40 years with a bobbin in one hand and a screwdriver in the other, and I've taken apart more machines than I can count. Cheap ones, expensive ones, ancient ones, and machines fresh out of the box. Today I'm giving you my real list. 8 brands still selling affordable, honest, reparable machines in the United States in 2026. No sponsorships influencing this list. No brand paid to be here. Just what's actually built to last. Grab your coffee, stay to the end, because brand number 1 on this list is the one nobody expects, and it might already be sitting in your closet. Quick note before we dive in, if you want to go deeper than gear reviews and really build your skills, I put everything I know into a course called The Greatest Sewing Library Online. Links in my bio if you're curious. Now, let's get into it. What buy it for life actually means in a sewing machine. Before I get into the brands, let's define our terms because durable gets thrown around on every product box in America. A buy it for life sewing machine has 3 things going for it. First, a metal internal frame. Not painted plastic pretending to be metal, an actual cast metal or aluminum chassis that holds your timing and alignment for decades. Second, parts availability. A gorgeous machine that can't be repaired in 10 years because the manufacturer stopped making the bobbin case is not buy it for life. It's a beautiful paperweight. And third, mechanical simplicity. The fewer circuit boards standing between your foot pedal and your needle going up and down, the fewer things there are to fail. That doesn't mean computerized machines are automatically bad. Some of them are wonderful. It means that when we're specifically talking about longevity on a budget, mechanical and semi-mechanical machines with metal guts are almost always going to outlast their all-electronic, all-plastic cousins. Keep that in mind as we go through this list, because you'll notice a pattern. Number 8. Singer. We have to start here because Singer basically invented the home sewing machine industry, and depending on who you ask, they either fell from grace or they never really left. Here's the honest truth about modern Singer. The company is not the same company that built machines in the 1950s. Today's Singer product line is a mix, some genuinely solid workhorses, and some machines I would not recommend to my worst enemy. The trick with Singer in 2026 is knowing exactly which model you're buying. The one I point beginners and budget sewists toward is the Singer Heavy Duty 4423. It's been a steady seller for over a decade for a reason. It runs on a heavy-duty metal frame that ensures stability, with a strong motor that sews up to 1,100 stitches per minute. It comes with 23 built-in stitches, adjustable presser foot pressure for both lightweight shears and heavy canvas, and a built-in automatic needle threader. And the frame is the important part. The internal skeleton is constructed of heavy-duty metal, holding all the mechanisms in perfect alignment for skip-free sewing and long-term durability. You'll typically find it priced in the $180 to $250 range depending on the retailer and whatever accessory bundle is running that month. Now, here's the twist. If you really want the buy-it-for-life Singer experience, don't just look at what's new. Vintage Singers, especially the black cast-iron models from the 1900s through the 1960s and the beloved little featherweight 221, are still out there in thrift stores, estate sales, and on Facebook Marketplace for $50 to $300. Those machines are all metal, all gear-driven, no plastic cams to strip, and they are famously reparable because Singer made so many of them that parts and manuals are everywhere. A lot of professional sewists keep one of these as a backup machine specifically because it will never let them down mid-project. My advice: new heavy-duty 4423 for a modern workhorse with a warranty, or a well-serviced vintage Singer for the machine your grandkids will inherit. Number 7. Brother. Brother gets an unfair reputation sometimes, mostly because they make a huge range of price points, and the very cheapest ones, the sub-$100 machines sold at big box stores during back-to-school season, are exactly the kind of disposable machine we're trying to avoid on this list. But go one tier up, and Brother becomes one of the most dependable names in affordable sewing. Reviewers consistently point out that Brother has mastered the art of creating inexpensive machines that don't feel flimsy, and specifically calls out models with a metal frame that provides stability, capable of handling everyday garment construction and home DIY projects without skipping stitches. That's the exact philosophy this whole video is about. For heavy-duty durability specifically, look at Brother's ST strong and tough line, built with the same denim and canvas mentality as Singer's heavy-duty series. And if you want a computerized machine that still holds up over years of daily use, the Brother CS6000i has been a bestseller for over a decade for good reason. Its automatic needle threader is a simple, lever-operated mechanism that's incredibly reliable, a lifesaver for beginners. That machine typically runs $150 to $200, and I still regularly meet quilters who bought theirs 8 or 9 years ago and are still using it every week. One more thing in Brother's favor, because they sell so many machines, parts and repair techs are everywhere in the U.S. That matters more than people think. A machine is only for life if somebody can actually fix it when it's 15 years old. Number 6. Janome. If I had to pick one brand that shows up most often and still going strong after 20 years comments across sewing forums, it's Janome. Reviewers describe them almost exactly the way old-school sewists describe their Singers. Janome produces durable, high-quality machines known for consistent stitch quality and quiet operation, and one buying guide puts it plainly. Janome and Juki machines are known for their durability and can last decades with proper maintenance, making them excellent long-term investments. The specific model I want to talk about is the Janome HD 3000. The HD stands for heavy duty, and it earns the name. It's built around an aluminum frame with an extra high presser foot lift and a 5-piece feed dog system that helps maintain stability on thicker seams and layered projects. It runs on a top-loading full rotary bobbin, has adjustable foot pressure, and a genuinely metal, not metal-look, body. One long-term review summed it up well. At around $199 to $299, it's a wise investment for serious home sewers prioritizing durability over frills, adding that durability holds up well, with users reporting strong performance even after 10 years of use, backed by a brand reputation and a 25-year warranty. Depending on the retailer and current promotions, you'll see it priced anywhere from around $300 up to $530, so it pays to shop around. If the HD 3000 is out of budget, the smaller HD 1000 sibling gives you a stripped-down version of the same metal frame philosophy for less money. Either way, Janome has quietly built one of the most respected reputations in the affordable mechanical space, and it doesn't get talked about on YouTube nearly as much as it should. Number 5. Juki. Now we're stepping just slightly outside beginner budget territory and into what I'd call the smart upgrade tier. Because Juki isn't really a home sewing machine company at heart, it's an industrial machine company that also happens to sell home machines. That heritage shows up in the build quality. The machine that changed how a lot of quilters and garment sewists think about affordable but serious is the Juki TL 2010Q. It's a single needle, straight stitch only machine, which sounds limiting until you realize that's exactly the point. Fewer moving parts, fewer things to break. Industrial-grade precision on the one stitch that matters most. It's constructed of aluminum die casting to ensure industrial-quality sewing, and it features an industrial subtension system, a variable speed control slider, and bright white LED lighting built for precision sewing. One longtime Juki dealer noted they've sold the TL 2010Q to countless fashion design students who consistently return to buy an industrial machine once they're ready to upgrade, which tells you everything about how this machine bridges the home and professional gap. Pricing has crept up a bit over the years. You'll find it listed around $1,199 at major retailers, though it's worth shopping smaller specialty sewing shops, where I've seen it priced closer to the $900 to $1,000 range. It's the priciest machine on this list today, but stack it up against a $1,200 computerized machine loaded with circuit boards and decorative stitches you'll never use twice, and the Juki starts to look like the better long-term bet, because in 20 years, the Juki will probably still be running, and I genuinely can't say that about most computerized machines from any brand. If that price is out of reach right now, keep it on your radar as a 5-year goal machine. It's worth the wait. Number 4. Toyota. Yes, that Toyota. Before there was a Toyota Corolla, there was a Toyota sewing machine. The company built its very first sewing machine in 1946 under the direct supervision of Kiichiro Toyota, the founder of Toyota Motor Corporation himself, and the machine's quality was considered good enough to carry the same badge as the cars. That engineering DNA is exactly why Toyota shows up on this list. The brand's philosophy has always centered on functional, no-nonsense reliability, the kind of company culture that also happens to make automobiles people drive for 300,000 miles. In the United States, Toyota's home sewing lineup is smaller than Singer's or Brothers, distributed through Eisen World Corp of America, but what they do sell leans heavily mechanical, metal-bodied, and built for consistency rather than flash. Where Toyota really shines for the buy-it-for-life crowd is in the secondhand and vintage-adjacent market. Older Toyota mechanical models from past decades regularly turn up on sewing forums with owners reporting they run flawlessly with minimal maintenance after 20, even 30 years. If you find a used Toyota mechanical machine at an estate sale for under $100, don't walk past it. That's exactly the kind of sleeper pick this whole list is about. And if you want one new, check current availability through an authorized Toyota sewing dealer, since selection varies more than the other brands on this list. Number 3. Necchi. Necchi is the brand Suez whisper about like a secret handshake. Founded in Italy in 1919, the name carries over a century of reputation for premium design and reliability, known among professional and home-use Suists, and after a quiet stretch, Necchi has been gearing up for a major resurgence in the U.S. market. Vintage Necchi machines, especially models like the BU Mira, the Supernova, and the Workhorse 7020, are the stuff of legend in restoration circles. These are steel-bodied, gear-driven machines from the mid-20th century that were built to survive commercial tailoring shops, and plenty of them are still doing exactly that today, 60 and 70 years later. I've personally seen Suists pick up a beat-up Necchi at a garage sale, spend $20 and an afternoon cleaning and oiling it, and end up with a machine that outperforms a brand new plastic model costing 5 times as much. On the new side, current Necchi USA models like the K132A carry that heritage forward with a full metal frame that enhances durability and stability, ensuring consistent performance even during intensive use, a critical feature for long-term reliability, paired with modern conveniences like automatic needle threading and LED lighting. Necchi machines tend to sit in a similar price bracket to Janome and Brothers mid-tier offerings, generally in the $250 to $450 range depending on the model, and you'll typically buy through an authorized dealer rather than a big box store, since Necchi keeps its U.S. distribution more boutique. If you can find a well-loved vintage Necchi near you, it might be the single best dollar-for-dollar buy-it-for-life machine on this entire list. Number 2. Bernette. Bernette is Bernina's more affordable little sibling, and I want to be clear about what that means, because it's not a knockoff or a budget gimmick. It's Bernina's actual engineering, scaled down to a friendlier price point, and industry experts back that up directly. Bernette is the daughter company of Bernina, and their quality matches that of the Berninas. That's a meaningful statement, because Bernina is one of the most respected names in the entire sewing world. The brand serious quilters and garment makers save up for. Getting Bernina-adjacent build quality without the Bernina price tag is exactly the kind of value this list is built around. The Bernette 35 in particular gets singled out by industry experts as one of the most cost-efficient and reliable options for new Suists, and the brand's heavy-duty entries, like the Bernette B05 Academy, bring a full metal frame, 1,100 stitches per minute, and a genuinely rugged build into a price range that's competitive with the other brands on this list. Bernette also gives you a real upgrade path most budget brands can't. Because they run on the same fundamental engineering philosophy as Bernina, a Bernette owner who falls in love with sewing has a natural next step within a brand family they already trust, instead of starting over from scratch with an entirely different manufacturer, warranty system, and dealer network. Number 1. The one already in your house. Vintage Kenmore. I told you the top pick would surprise you. And here it is. The single best buy-it-for-life sewing machine you can afford today might be the one sitting unused in a relative's closet, still wearing its original Sears price tag. Kenmore sewing machines were sold through Sears from the 1930s all the way into the 2010s. And here's the industry secret. Most of them were actually manufactured by other companies under contract. Depending on the decade, your vintage Kenmore might have been built by Janome, by New Home, or by other respected Japanese manufacturers, wearing a Sears badge on the outside and genuinely excellent engineering on the inside. That's exactly why so many of them are still humming along in sewing rooms across the country 50, 60, even 70 years later. You will not find brand new Kenmore machines being manufactured today. Sears' retail collapse ended that. But that's precisely what makes this pick so powerful for a still-afford list. These machines are everywhere in the secondhand market. They are wildly undervalued because the Kenmore name doesn't carry the cachet of a Singer or a Bernette, and they were built during an era when metal gears, full-size motors, and genuinely serviceable mechanisms were simply the standard, not a premium feature you paid extra for. You can regularly find a clean, working vintage Kenmore for $40 to $120 at an estate sale, a thrift store, or online. A fraction of what a new machine with the same durability would cost you if a machine like that were even being made new anymore. The catch, and it's a real one. Parts and belts for the oldest Kenmores can take a little hunting, and you'll want a local sewing machine tech to give it a proper cleaning and timing check before you trust it with your best fabric. But once that's done, you have a machine with genuinely no plastic gears to strip, no circuit board to fail, and a straight stitch that will outlive every computerized machine sold this year. That's what buy it for life really means. Not the newest thing, the thing that refuses to quit. So there's my real list. 8 brands, from a 100-year-old Italian name to a car company's original side hustle to the machine that might already be sitting 3 feet away from you right now. Notice the pattern that ran through every single one of these. Metal frames over plastic shells, mechanical simplicity over circuit boards nobody can repair in 15 years, and companies or eras where longevity was the actual design goal, not an afterthought. If you're just starting out, the Singer Heavy Duty 4423 or the Brother Mechanical lineup will treat you right without breaking the bank. If you're ready to invest a little more in a machine that will genuinely outlast you, the Janome HD 3000 or the Juki TL 2010Q deserve serious consideration. And if your budget is tight this year, don't sleep on the secondhand market. A well-serviced vintage Singer, Necchi, or Kenmore might be the smartest sewing machine purchase you ever make. Now I want to hear from you. What's the oldest sewing machine you're still using, and what brand is it? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and I promise you, some of the stories in there are better than anything I could script. If this video saved you from buying the wrong machine, do me a favor and hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more Suis who need it. Subscribe if you want more honest, no-sponsor gear breakdowns like this one, and I will see you in the next video. Now go thread that bobbin. I'll see you next time.